Hi, my name is Teddy Ruffner, and I play baseball here at Youngstown State University. One of the best things I think I learned early on was how to control my emotions. Baseball, it's easy to get frustrated. You go 3 for 10 over a stretch of games, and that's considered very good. Obviously, 300 batting average is what a lot of guys strive for, but you're still failing 7 out of 10 times. So, being able to control your emotions when things aren't going well, there's going to be times in a season where you might be 0 for 15, maybe even 0 for 20 if you're really going through a bad slump, but you can't get frustrated and you can't let your emotions take over because it's usually just going to get worse. So, trying to stay on an even keel is something that through my entire career, I've really tried to work on and I've got better at. I used to have a little anger issues as a kid, so it was something important for me to learn in order to really be successful at the next level. Some of it just takes time and maturity. Obviously, being a kid, kids just get angry, get upset. It's a natural thing, and you can't get mad at yourself for being mad. Emotions are a natural thing. You can't control them, but you can control your response. So I try to be aware of my emotions more now, which is something that I've gotten better at, is realizing, hey, like you're getting a little upset right now. You need to calm your heart rate down. Really focus on breathing. That's been a big thing for me. Taking deep breaths when you need to, slow your heart rate down. And then, like you said, just the next play mindset. It's easy to look back and think about what you did wrong, but if you switch your focus to your next at bat or your next play in the field, whatever the next thing you're going to be doing, switch your mindset over to that and start preparing, and then you'll eventually just forget about what's happened in the past. Yeah, so there's a couple things. I think the weight room's big for me. I'm a little bit of an undersized guy, only at 5'9", so getting in the weight room even early in my career was important to get bigger, faster, stronger so that the size difference didn't matter as much. And then now as I get into college and a lot of guys are strong, so you lose some advantage there. So you got to gain it in other aspects. Focusing more on perfecting my craft, my swing, working on very specific things, attack angles, bat speed. We have technology to be able to track that stuff now. So recently it's been more of that, but I still focus on getting in the weight room and continuing to try to get faster and stronger. So that's always going to help. And then additionally, mobility is a huge thing. We have a lot longer season in college than we did in high school. So it's important to keep your body nice and mobile to prevent injuries because a small thing can turn into a big thing over the course of like a 60-game season. Yeah, so one thing was COVID-19 kind of messed up my recruiting process. It kind of hit all during my junior and senior year, so it became difficult to get recruited as coaches were not allowed to come to events or come see you in person. So that changed the whole dynamic of trying to get recruited in kind of the most important years of your high school career. And then once I got to college, dealing with some sports performance anxiety, it's a thing that a lot of people go through but isn't talked about a whole lot. And that was something that I had to overcome and figure out ways to get around and gain my confidence back on the field that I had before. A big thing for me was journaling was a big thing and focusing on the breathing. So for journaling, just every day after practice, writing down just what went good, what went bad, and how everything felt. It's easy to kind of just forget days that go good when you feel like everything's kind of going bad around you, like you're worried about what the coaches think. But if you have a good day in the field, maybe you didn't hit well, but you made a couple good plays defensively, like write it down so that you can go back and look over those things and really say, oh, okay, I'm building on all these days are building on top of each other. And I can have confidence that after I've done all these good things day after day, that like it's going to turn around, even if things aren't going well now. Visualizing, trying to envision yourself in a moment before you get there kind of helps you mentally prepare so that in the moment you can feel comfortable and you don't have that spiking heart rate and the other things that come along with like the general anxiety of having to perform. And then finally, just don't worry about what other people think. It's easy to try to, what are your teammates going to think? What are your coaches? What are the fans going to think? But at the end of the day, like what other people think doesn't matter. Just play as hard as you can and know that if you give your best effort, that's really all that matters. So as I mentioned earlier, my recruiting process was a little different because of COVID-19. So the only way I could get recruited was from videos. So luckily I had a very good summer ball coach who would take videos of all my at-bats and I used to be a catcher, so he would video some innings behind the plate, and he was connected pretty well with a lot of college coaches, so he would just kind of send out my video to everyone he could, and then some coaches got back to him, some didn't, And the coaches that would get back to him, he would try to get me in touch with them as soon as he could. And then it was a lot of phone calls, a lot of Zoom calls, and then just kind of monitoring. They would continue to check out my video, just check out some of my performances, and just through talking with them. Luckily, I was able to get my offer from UNC Wilmington, came down to a couple schools, but I inevitably decided to go there. And I enjoyed my time there, but for a couple various reasons, I decided to enter the transfer portal. That process was a little bit scary because you never know once you go in there what you're going to get. I didn't play a whole lot at UNC Wilmington, so I knew that it was going to be a risk for a school to take me with not a lot of proof of what I could do. But luckily, Youngstown State was a place that had recruited me out of high school, and they had kind of followed me a little bit at Wilmington. And when they gave me the offer, um, I knew I wanted to take it because they were one of the final schools that it came down to in high school, and they had the major that I wanted to do, which is very important to me. So for a lot of those reasons, I decided to commit here. So there's a lot of things that are important. I think if you have any connections, use them, whether if it's a coach you train with or you know someone that knows someone else. Being connected is important. But if you do not have that, just be consistent. Email coaches, DM coaches. The worst thing they can say is nothing at all. They can just not open it, but you never know. One coach, the school you want to go to, opens a DM or an email. Maybe they check you out. I would get some sort of verified numbers, whether that's a 60-time exit velos, that sort of thing. But I wouldn't worry too much about going to every single showcase on the planet. At the end of the day, some of those things are just there to make money, and they're not going to help you as much as you might think. I would just say try to play at places you're going to get in front of coaches and be consistent in what you do. Don't worry about any singular performance because baseball, there's a reason you play so many games. There's going to be ups and downs, so just be consistent, consistently try to email coaches, consistently put in work, and if you're good, they'll find you. For me, there's a couple reasons. One was my major was important to me. I'm a mechanical engineering major, and they have a very good program here, so that was huge for me, as my education is very important to me. And also, I knew that some of the coaches they had here were very good. I'm very happy with our coaching staff now. We have some new coaches this year who are young, and they really know how to develop guys. So coming here and then staying here after our head coach left, a big reason of that was because of the coaches that were here. I think a big thing is approach, and in college you have a lot more access to data that you don't have in high school. You really don't have a ton of scouting reports in high school that are in depth on pitchers or even hitters, but in college everything's tracked and there's a lot of data out there. So if you know how to use that, you can change your approach, knowing what sort of pitches the pitcher likes to throw or where certain batters like to hit the ball. You can adjust defensively, and it just gives you a leg up on your opponent if you know their tendencies and are able to adjust to be in a better position to succeed. I think that that's helped me a lot, knowing how to shape my approach for each situation. The big one's to win a conference championship with my team. I think that's always the end goal of every player wanting to make it to the NCAA tournament. For myself, I would love to play professional baseball. Obviously, that's been my goal since I was a little kid, but if that does not happen, I want to be able to get a good job in mechanical engineering and eventually work my way up into a management position at a company. At Youngstown State, our NIL is very good. In our conference, we're leading the entire conference by a good margin, and I know our men's basketball team specifically is one of the highest ranking mid-majors in NIL, so it's something that the school definitely cares about, and they give us a lot of education with it. We have a lot of opportunities through the school that they make us aware of. I know some guys on our team have tried to capitalize on certain things. I know we have one guy with like a sunglass deal, so we all try to support him and repost those sort of things. I know a lot of the teams on campus have merchandise deals where other people can buy our jerseys or apparel with our names on them, so that's been huge for our sport as well as the entire athletic department. For me personally, I just want to continue to build my brand, especially on social media, just trying to give people an inside look at what it looks like to be a D1 athlete. There's a lot of demand for that sort of thing on Instagram, TikTok, various social sites. So I just want to be consistent in trying to make time to get into NIL and take advantage of it because it's a good opportunity for any athlete to make a little bit of extra money playing your sport. I would say be consistent. That would be the biggest advice I would give to a high school athlete is to be consistent whether it's in the weight room, with mobility, with training, with your schoolwork, with anything. Just be consistent with it. It's easy to kind of go through ebbs and flows. When things are going well, you want to do it all the time. When things are going bad, you might want to take a break, or vice versa. Some people get comfortable when things are going well. You can't let that happen. You have to try to be consistent. There's going to be days you don't want to go in the weight room, but you got to try to make it happen. That consistency is going to allow you to get better over time and continue to get better, whether you're already committed to a college, whether you're in college, whether you're just a freshman in high school. Be consistent, and it's going to get you to where you want to go. Hi, my name is Teddy Ruffner. I play baseball here at Youngstown State, and you can check me out at Next Level Prep.